guys, Austin here from Airsoft Station, and today we are reviewing the G&G Xtreme 45. This is a CO2 pistol, and there's a little bit of a funny story to this. So I grabbed this off the shelf in our warehouse and I walked through the storefront, and one of the storefront guys was like, "What are you doing with that?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm doing a review with it." And he's like, "Why? Those are a piece of junk." And I was like, "Really? Why do you think that?" It's like, "Oh, I don't know, that's just what I've heard." I was like, "Well, let me try it out before I actually do the review, and I'll let you know if it is in fact a piece of junk." And I can promise you guys, it is not a piece of junk. So, my boy Dope Arts here on YouTube requested this video, and I am doing it. Now, I'm honest in these reviews. If it was a piece of junk, I would tell you that. It's not. So if you guys have heard that stigma or that saying that these are pieces of junk, they're not. So, let me break this down for you. The first thing that I noticed is actually the magazine is awesome. There's a lot of cool features to it. The first thing is when reloading it, a lot of the magazines have the locking feature where you pull it down and it locks into place, but you either have to like put it off to the side or push it in or something like this. And on this one, it's very easy. So when you push that down, a little pin comes out on the bottom and it pops out just like that. Hopefully you can see that little pin right there. And then you can easily load your BBs in. It's a 16 round capacity, so it's very easy to put those into place. And then all you do is push that pin up and forward and it slides up. Very easy, very consistent locking. So instead of, loading it and then, it pops up and dang it. It's very easy to reload. And speaking of which, it's got metal all around here, so those lips on the magazine that are oftentimes plastic and can break off if while you're reloading it and there's only a few BBs in there, and then it comes forward and it snaps up and it pops one of those lips off. You don't have to worry about this. This is full metal all the way around, and yeah, it's definitely built for the durability. The other thing about the magazine that I really like is while loading the CO2, you can hand tighten it, which is very convenient because on most CO2 pistols you have an Allen key on the bottom which you tighten in, which is just kind of annoying because you don't want to be bringing an Allen key with you onto the field, because either you have it in a really convenient and accessible spot, but you're probably going to end up losing it on the field because we're running and we're jumping and we're diving and we're sliding. Or you can put it in a really secure location, but then that's annoying because it takes a little while to get to it. This one you can hand tighten. So say you do run out of CO2 on here, you just, that little, let's see if I can get it to adjust here. This little wheel right here, you can hand loosen and hand tighten. So you just slide a new CO2 in there and just wind that up with your hand. It'll pressurize. No tools needed to change your CO2, which is very convenient. Then the next thing, I took it out to the in the back here, and I was shooting it, and the range and accuracy on this is phenomenal. It was shooting about 150 to 200 feet, and I'm not exaggerating that. It truly was, which is, it outranges some AEGs that I've seen. So it's a very impressive range and accuracy. The one downside is it is not full blowback. So if you want that realism effect, the ejection port here, it's a full cylinder in there. So you're not going to see down into the magazine or anything like that. So it's not the most realistic thing. And I have a pistol very similar to this at home, and I did buy it for realism. But this guy, which is much cheaper, this is under $100, and my pistol was well over $100. This guy outranges my pistol easily. My pistol shoots about 90 feet. This one was shooting almost 200 feet. So huge improvement on that range and accuracy. It isn't as realistic. So if you are looking for that realism effect in your gas blowback, this might not be the route to go. But if you're looking for performance and don't really care about the realism, this is where it's at. This is cheaper and it outranges it by almost twice as much, more than twice as much. So very impressive range and accuracy. Took it over to the Chrono Range, and as you can see the readings here, the first shot with it was over 500 FPS, which is ridiculous. No field is going to let you play with that, but it very quickly, the second shot, it dropped down to 400 FPS. So if you are playing on a field, just make sure that when you put a new CO2 in, you take a shot that's not actually at somebody, because that's going to hurt. And then it starts regulating from there, and it's under that 400 FPS. But that first shot is a killer, so make sure you don't shoot someone on that first shot with the new CO2. But the other thing I noticed, which kind of concerned me is the FPS consistently kept dropping with each shot. It went from 400 all the way down to about 300. So that's something to note, but the one thing is, while I was shooting it, I ran 5 magazines through it. It's a 16 round capacity magazine, so whatever 5 times 16 is, I don't know exactly, but I took that many shots with it, and although the velocity, you could tell it was slowing down, it was hitting the hop up consistently, so the range and the accuracy was still there every time. It's not like the first shot went super far and then each one was less and less and less and less and less. It still had the same range and accuracy, so don't worry about that FPS drop in concerns of range and accuracy. The only concern is how quickly the BB will get there, which isn't quite as big of a deal. Just know that it does slow down with each consecutive shot. Externals on this gun, it comes in black, silver, which you can see on the box, the all black one here, and the black and silver one here, as well as the black and tan one that I have here. The externals are very nice. They feel nice, they're metal, there's just a lot of texturing on it, which feels very nice. It gives you a good solid grip. There is a fake beaver tail back here. It's not functional. The only functional safety you have is the standard 1911, so when it's cocked, up for safe, down for fire. But that safety is functional, but the beaver tail does not work. It's just there for make it look like a standard 1911, which it's still very comfortable to hold, even though it doesn't push in. Not too noticeable there. It also has an accessory rail on the bottom for any flashlights or lasers you may want. The sights, those a little bit bug me because I have gotten used to the 3 white dot sights for the quick target acquisition, and again, this is just me being picky, but the front sight does have that white dot, but the rear sights are just all black, so it does take me a little bit longer to get that target acquisition, which not the end of the world. It's still, that front one has the white dot, which is really all you need, but I'm just being a snob right now, and I wish it had the 2 white dots in the back. So just a note there. I'm trying to think of anything else. I took a look at the all black one as well. That one looks very nice. It still has the chrome barrel shim here and the chrome ejection port as well as trigger, but everything else is all black on it. Looks very sharp, has the Xtreme 45 written right on the slide there. And I think that's just about it for this gun. Yeah, just sort of recap that first shot, crazy high FPS. Make sure you don't shoot that at someone, but after that, it's definitely field legal. The magazine, very convenient, not only for the way it locks down while reloading, but also for the CO2, no tools needed to change the CO2 out. And yeah, overall, just a pretty decent gun. So that's about it for this review. If you got any other questions about it, leave it in the comments. I'll try to reply as quickly as I can. And until the next one, have a good one, guys.